Hello, guys. How often do you question the orders of your boss? How often do you double guess what a doctor or your financial advisor says? Almost never. How often do you challenge what your friends, your brother, or your parents say? All the time. It is your favorite sport. Why do we always trust without much questioning what an authority figure says? Everybody makes mistakes, right? Today, in deciding how to decide, we will talk about the authority bias. Follow the leader. What exactly is it? The authority bias occurs when we accept information or follow instructions without critically evaluating the content simply because it comes from an authority figure. Think about phrases like proven by doctors, clinically proven, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend it. They want to tell you that someone with much more authority and knowledge than you, somebody in a white coat, checked and approved the product. Therefore, we should bypass our evaluation or concerns about it. You have nothing to worry about. It is a no brainer to buy it. But how do we know if these claims are true? Do misleading endorsements and exaggerated claims happen? Of course they do. It's an old strategy in the marketing playbook. You won't believe it, but in the 1930s, cigarette companies would place advertisements that claimed that more doctors recommended their brand over their competitors. And why does it happen? When faced with new information, we quickly want to assess if it's reliable. The authority bias gives us a shortcut. Usually, following the opinion of an authority figure takes us to a good place. If he wears a badge or a uniform with 5 stars, he must be trustworthy and know what he's talking about. We also find it difficult to decouple the content of the message from the status of the person delivering it. We believe in the justness of the current social system, so we view authority figures as deserving of their position. We find them legitimate. So we are inclined to accept and obey their suggestions and decisions, sometimes mindlessly and without thinking for ourselves. How far can we go blindly believing in authority? In 1961, American psychologist Stanley Milgram at Yale University conducted the most famous experiment on authority bias. He wanted to understand how far people can go obeying authority figures. He recruited participants to act as teachers and actors to act as learners. Teachers could not see the learners. The teachers asked the learners a set of questions. When they got a wrong answer, the teachers were told by the authority, a scientist in a white coat, to administer an electric shock to the learner, who was sitting in another room. Every time there was a mistake, the voltage of the shock increased. As the experiment proceeded, the teachers could hear the learners shouting in pain and asking for the study to stop. Despite that, 65% of the participants completed the experiment and administered shocks at the highest level, 450 volts. Disclaimer: the electricity generator was fake, but this was not known by the teachers. Why did so many teachers inflicted the maximum pain on learners? What do you think? How far would you go? And why it's important. The authority bias influences how we receive, perceive, judge, and act upon information, as well as who we listen and who we don't. It tricks us into trusting erroneous information just because it comes from an authority figure. The opinions of experts, teachers, doctors, police officers, PhDs, CEOs, and directors are not necessarily correct, but we might think they are. The authority bias can be potentially dangerous for society when misinformation is shared by authority figures. And what can we do about it? Double check your assumptions of an authority figure that gives you information. Check their background, knowledge, skills, and potential biases. Remember, they can make mistakes. They are not 100% objective. Therefore, if some information is important to you, talk with an authority, but question what they say. As the Russian proverb says, trust but verify. Be skeptical. Use critical thinking. Does the information make sense? Does it apply to you? Ask follow up questions. Actively seek a second opinion. Do other authorities agree on this matter? Let's go back to Milgram's experiment. He used his findings to explore the reason why the Nazis and other people committed heinous crimes during World War II. Lack of information? Fear of punishment? Pure evil? Or was it the authority bias in play? Obeying an authority regardless of the immorality of the request? That was precisely what many Nazi officials claimed during the Nuremberg trials. Not my fault. I was just following orders from a superior authority. Now, a disclaimer. Remember, this video is not the last word on authority bias. Its goal is to ignite your interest in this topic so you do your own research. Send us your feedback so we can continue with this conversation. Time to go. See you next time. Thank you.